Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of What's Driving Token Prices. I'm your host, Katie Talati, Director of Research at Arca. For those joining us for the first time, I'm responsible for analyzing and identifying digital asset and blockchain opportunities for Arca's funds. As part of our research, my team and I examine token prices and the market events that act as catalysts for price change. Based on our research and market events over the past week, here are some notable token price movements and what we think drove these moves. As a reminder, this commentary is not intended to be investment advice, investment research, or an investment recommendation. Please consult your investment professional for your own circumstances. All right. Well, it has been a eventful week, at least in the public markets. A lot of people probably saw Nvidia, the chip maker, shoot up on massive earnings release related to AI, promising maybe a artificial intelligence, rally in tech stocks. But the more interesting thing I think that everybody's relieved is that it looks like a debt ceiling deal is going through today, and that should save us from absolute calamity, hopefully. And provided a bit of a rally in crypto assets over the weekend, if nobody noticed. Of course, we are selling off here today, but that is just par for the course at this point, right? So, got a couple interesting projects to talk about in our edition this week, starting with multi-coin and Phantom. I mean, multi-chain and Phantom. Okay, so last week we're going to talk about two different projects here. But last week, the bridging project multi-chain used to be called AnySwap. They saw a 40% decline in price after rumors surfaced that the founding team had actually been arrested in China. So the problems began last week. Users started complaining that they couldn't get their transactions through, that there were delays, and the team ended up releasing info saying, "Hey, we're blaming this on this upgrade we just did, and that's why with transactions are delayed." Now, to give you a little bit more background on multi-chain, multi-chain is a bridging protocol, but it works by pegging. So I think we've talked about kind of like pegging assets back and forth and how kind of that has posed a problem, especially if there's hacks, if people can hack one side of a bridge. So what that means is that, say I want to take my Ethereum and I want to send it from Ethereum to Phantom. So basically my Ethereum doesn't go over to Phantom. It doesn't work like that. What happens is that I get like a pegged or a wrapped version of Ethereum that multi-chain then holds in a pool on the Ethereum side of the chain, and then they issue me like an IOU on the Phantom side of the chain. So because of this, bridges, if you can't withdraw assets from a bridge, a lot of people, if they can't, they weren't able to exchange their IOUs for assets. So this is one of the big problem with bridges, and kind of having this interoperable future. So anyway, back to the point. So after the withdrawals were slow to kind of come, a lot of on-chain detectives on Twitter were quick to point out that several large entities withdrew their assets from multi-chain, including the Phantom Foundation, with which drew about 2.4 million in liquidity. So this has been a bit of an evolving issue. It seems that most of the chains have been able to resume transaction withdrawals, including Phantom. But the founder actually did announce this morning one of the team members did announce this morning that the founder has indeed been arrested, and that they have the upgrade keys for a small handful of smaller, lesser known chains with less TVL. So thankfully, not as big of an issue as many thought. However, for Phantom, notably, multi-chain was the only bridge between multi-chain and Phantom, and it doesn't look like many people are going to be trusting the multi-chain bridge anytime soon. So Phantom also saw their token price decline with this, except they are only down 9.4% for the week versus multi-chain's 41. All right, on to the next. I won't call it drama, but drama. So Optimism. So Optimism is a layer 2 protocol. I've talked about them a bit before. They've partnered with Coinbase to create their layer 2 called Base. So the big news of this week for them is that Optimism is going to unlock a large number of tokens this week. So the unlock is basically for core contributors and early investors, and the newly released tokens are actually going to double the circulating supply. So Optimism has definitely been, kind of hurting as a result of this. I think it's down about 30% actually in the last 30 days and down about 9.4% this week. The team has been trying to combat that with they've got their big upgrade next week called Bedrock, which should lower fees on Optimism. But definitely not a good look. There's been a lot of discussion around this large unlock and who has been selling, who is not. And so far, like I said, optimism is down 9.4% for the week, but that might not be the end of it. All right, last up we have Trader Joe. So Trader Joe is the decentralized exchange. It initially launched on Avalanche, but has since kind of like broadened out to other blockchains. So it's actually been outperforming this week, following a lot of like positive fundamental changes on its exchange. Primarily, they saw a massive increase in DAU and MAUs, um, with active monthly users having increased about 5x since April, from roughly 50,000 to 250,000. So that's pretty massive actually for non-Ethereum based chains. So the active monthly users, the increased activity has actually been attributed to a bridge between the Bitcoin blockchain and Avalanche, which is supported by the Stargate cross-chain bridge on layer 0. So many are speculating that Stargate is soon going to airdrop a token to the bridge's users. So it's kind of encouraged a lot of this increased activity, which is then trickled down into a lot of increased activity for Trader Joe, and Avalanche chain as well. So Avalanche has actually seen an uptick in activity, boasting an all-time high in monthly active users of almost 900,000. So pretty big. While Avalanche didn't really move much on this news, Trader Joe is actually up 19% this week on these positive fundamental changes. We'll see if they hold. So, yeah, guys, that's all I have for you this week. Thanks for joining. I hope you enjoyed our insights. Tune in here again next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific to hear what's driving token prices.